There were not that many violations for me personally because I would not permit it.
Okay.
Um,
What about the attempt to
oh,
violate?
there were a lot of attempts, but you know, I just don't let. Well, okay. One of the big examples is we were down in Lexington, Kentucky, and we were supposed to play an exhibition game, and they were going to honor one of my teammates and one of the guys from the other team that had played there. So we got ready. Casey was my roommate. He went to go down and get a pregame meal at the hotel, and they wouldn't serve him. So Casey comes back and tells me that, because I was getting ready to go meet him, he says, "Where you going?" I said, "Going." He says, "They won't serve you down there." So I said, "Well, Casey, that's the best thing you said to me in a long time." And he says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm going to go home." He says, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm going to go home." I went in the room and I called Eastern Airlines and I said, "When's your next flight out of here?" He says, "Where do you want to go?" I says, "Boston is my first destination, then New York and Washington, and if you don't have anything going in those three places, then Chicago. But I want to get out of here." They said, "We got a flight that goes from here to Washington to Boston. I want a seat on it." So Kay says, "You're not going to leave me?" I said, "Okay, 2 seats." Then Sam and Satch came in the room. They says, because they had experienced the same thing. And I said, "Well, you're not going to leave us." So I said, "Well, 4 seats." And then there's the rookie, we couldn't find, he'd been out for a walk, we couldn't find him. So I called Red and said, "Red, I'm going home." He said, "It's been a long trip. Well, what time's the flight tomorrow?" I said, "Oh, no, it's not tomorrow. I got a 7 o'clock flight out here tonight." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "I got a reservation on a flight out here at 7 o'clock tonight." He said, why? What? I said, "Well, went down to eat in the restaurant. They wouldn't serve us. So I'm going to go out and get a good meal." So he said, "Wait a minute, let me find out what's happened." So he called back about 5, 6 minutes and said, "Everything's okay." "What is okay, Red?" "What do you mean okay?" "Well, this hotel is the owner, and he's the general manager also. And he's invited you guys to have dinner with him in his suite. And I cleaned it up for you." I said, "Who the hell is he to think that I want to have dinner with him?"
Yes.
I'm not interested in socializing with him. I don't know him, and I don't want to have dinner with him. Who the hell is he?" He says, well, what do you want me to do?" I said, "Red, like I told you a few minutes ago, I got a 7 o'clock flight out of here." So he says, wait, before you do that, wait a minute, let me. So he called back about 5 o'clock. He said, "Listen, they said what you could do is go down and eat in the restaurant now, and that'll be the end of segregation in that restaurant." Red, that's irrelevant. It doesn't make any difference. There's nothing that's going to change the fact that I'm going to be on that 7 o'clock flight. There's nothing he can say, or anybody can say, to change that. I said, because, apologies come up shaky to me. But the reason I say that is that if you're sorry you did something, why did you do it in the first place? And most times the apology is you're sorry about the reaction you got to what you did, not necessarily what you did. And see, I think I can separate that.
Especially when money is involved too.
Well, and so so Red had a choice, and I really, really hated to put him in that position because he had a choice whose side was he going to take.
Yes.
He's got to coach a team and a scheduled game. And his players said they're not going to play. Now, what can he say? You have to play. because this is game on schedule, and you're part of this team. He could have said that, but he probably would have lost his players. And as brilliant as he is, that was not really a question for him.
Yes, and the psychologist knew.
Yes.
Yes, knew.
So he said that he's going to go out to the airport with us to make sure that the tickets and everything are all right. He did, too.
And he did.
But one other thing I did, I called the guys on the other team.
Oh.
And said, I want to give you some information. That's the only thing I'm going to give you. Nothing else. I'm not going to give you suggestions or anything. All I'm going to do is give you some information. Because I don't know how you stand and what your relationship with your team is, and I'm not going to put you in jeopardy. If you are in jeopardy, it will be of your own making. All I'm going to do is give you some information. The black guys on the Celtics are not going to play tonight. And the reason I'm giving you that information is I don't want you to get to the game and then find out then. And so on the spot, you got to make a decision what you're going to do with not enough time to give it any thought.
And that's kindness, too.
You know. I said, so whatever you do, it's okay with me. I have no problem with it. If you decide to play, I hope you have a good game. You know, again, I'm going to repeat myself, but I want to emphasize. All I'm calling to do is to give you information so that you won't be blindsided when you get to the arena. And so they decided not to play also.
Fantastic.
And so, but from then on, when they start booking exhibition games, they have to do some research.
Yes, I guess so.